welcome one and all to this week's episode of The Síle Show. What do you think happens when creativity stops being something you chase and starts becoming something you organise your life around? Well, our guest today is an Irish artist and textile designer who made a deliberate decision to narrow her focus in order to deepen her work, moving from creative lane jumping to funneling her energy into one very clear creative vision. There's something very intentional in her approach. It's almost like she's designing her life the same way she designs her work, shaping space for creativity to thrive, rather than trying to chase it across too many directions at once. It's almost like a creativity that is a life architecture, building with purpose, clarity, and actually, surprisingly, leaves room for rest. Caroline Duffy is known for hand-painted, nature-inspired designs that are translated into luxury textile collections, particularly silk pieces that feel expressive, personal, and very much alive. Working from her studio in Dundalk, her practice is a harmonious fusion of art and fashion, turning original paintings into textile pieces that carry artistic craft and emotional resonance in equal measure, allowing art itself to move from observation into experience seamlessly. See what I did there? We're going to chat today about building a life by design, literally and metaphorically, where creativity can become both purpose and profession, and also the fact that rather than chasing your dreams directly, if we look at Caroline's journey, it is conceivable that we could see our dreams drop out of the vortex and into the lap of our lives, as it were, by first understanding and by using our talents. So, kind of like chase your talents to manifest your dreams. Well, on that note, without further ado, Caroline Duffy, the heartiest of Síle Show welcomes to lovely you.
It's a delight to be here with you today.
Well, it's just great to finally meet you and in so much beautiful colour.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a brand new season coming out of the winter. Why not? Bit of colour.
Absolutely gorgeous. And you sold out this morning. I saw on your stories.
This is a very busy day, a very exciting day. You know, it can go one way or the other. So it's a great day. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
An absolutely great story. And what a great place to start the spring summer launch. But before we get there, will you introduce us to the person behind the brand?
Well, the person behind the brand, we're very intertwined. I think what you see online is really me. You know, just me. I love colour. I love creativity. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. You know, a really great friend to people. I think that's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, and you love this. You've been doing this all of your life. You've travelled with your craft.
I have, yeah, and it's really combining the whole lot. You know, the balance between having this lovely career, creative career, and having your life and your family with you and everything as well. So this is why I travelled around a little bit, and I ended up just coming back close to home. Yeah.
Loved it. And having then, I suppose, were you somewhat lane jumping for a long period of time, and then have you now funneled into this one craft to create more time to be with family as well? Yeah. Ironically, I'm sure it's probably the busiest time of your life.
It is. Yes. Yeah, I was very lucky that I knew I wanted to be creative from a very young age, you know, but then you go through the teenage years. I think in transition year, I wanted to be in the Air Corps, and then I wanted to be a chef, you know, all these things exploring, and I was allowed to do it all. But went to college and studied printed textiles and worked for other people for years. And I think a good 20 years in the fashion industry for other brands. And then I think as you get older and as time goes on, you're like, well, you go down one road, serves you for a little while. No, I'll make it a turn onto a different road and a different road until you are nudged in the right direction. So I feel like I'm in the right direction right now. Still loads more to discover, but yeah.
But what a wonderful start. What a wonderful
Yeah.
start. So you have your workshop in Dundalk.
Yes, which is great. I have the studio there for years. I had a home studio, served me well. I have 3 young kids. I had 3 kids under 3, brought them all up together. So I chose to do that, to work for other people, work for other brands for a good few years, to give me the time. School runs, make dinner, do a bit more work, drop somebody else to football, and then back to work. So, but now I this space just came up, a bigger space in Dundalk town, a beautiful space, and I knew that was on the cards. That was going to be on the cards down the road. It was a dream of mine, and it just came very, very quickly then. And I
You're
said, I have to
amazing.
grab this. So
You are amazing. And it
6 months
looks
this
stunning.
weekend. They're 6 months. Yeah. So it's
Imagine.
still early days there, but
Well, so you've achieved so much in just 6 months of this new incubation of you.
yeah, I think so. But the space, it really was at a pivotal time where, so say for the last 5 years, I'm really doing my own thing, my own painting, creating my own collections. And it got to a point where I had no more space for stock. I had to clear away a certain amount of stock to paint. There was no space left in my home studio. And then this opportunity just landed. And I've just taken it. But it has opened up more opportunities. There's more knocks on my door. People come to me with different ideas and I can say, yes, I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that. You can come to my studio for this event or that event. It's like, it's becoming a little community or a little creative space that's not just mine, I feel.
Amazing. So the
Yeah.
word is going out there. And I
Yeah.
suppose people are being creative with the ideas they'd like to explore with you. And because you're open to everything and attached to no one thing, you're available to them, you're showing up, and you're just probably, because it has been incubating for so long. So the gestation period, I think, is probably still happening, but you're birthing all of these different iterations of you.
Yes, it's really amazing, and maybe if you take one glance at me, you don't know who I am. You'd be a bit confused. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. You're like, is she an artist? She's painting and she's a fashion collection and a homewares collection and she does workshops. But to me, it's not very confusing. It all stems from my love of color and creativity, and flowers is on everything.
Yeah.
So I think they're the threads that hold all the different things together, which is lovely. And especially now these workshops and bringing people in that may be connected to nature. There's florists and different people that, the beauty industry as well has been talking to me about different things, working with them on projects, and it's all to do with nature and flowers. So that thread kind of holds everything together.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
So as you chased your talent,
Yeah.
the dream built itself around it.
Yeah.
And continues to do so. So in the workshops, people can actually come in and paint their own lamps, for example.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
Well, that's really fun. I do like having a bit of fun. Like it has to be lighthearted. Like it can't be really serious. Like I'm not a stuffy artist. I kind of like things to look pretty, Sheila. I do. Like, it's like there is deeper meaning in my work now, but it really has to look nice and have a bit of fun as well and splash paint around. And when we're painting on a normal canvas and I'm showing people how to paint flowers, it's really fun and people love it. But, they're learning. And I was like, let's just do something a little bit fun, like paint on something. So you're taking the emphasis away from it having to be like a perfect flower that they create, to like just a functional object. So it's a little bit more lighthearted, or you can paint on anything, cups, plates, whatever.
Glasses, you do glass painting as well?
Well, that's in motion. So that's going to happen in due course, which is amazing. So the Food and Drink Society approached me to do an event with them. And they wanted to actually just use my space because it's a little bit different. There's artwork on the wall. It's a lovely older building, to hold their event, for wine tasting and food sampling and the whole lot. And then I said, well, sure, if you're here, why don't we paint wine glasses? And wow, it just blew up, and that sold out in a matter of hours, that event.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Because of course, you're the master of that craft. So all of a sudden, those people that want to host the event are able to share the space with somebody who knows what they're doing,
Yeah.
They know that their clients are going to have a really good time. And the other part then will just happen innocuously. It's not all focus on the core part of the evening. The
Yeah.
fun is happening, and then people are just picking up the core
Yes.
part of the evening as they go along
And we're
passively.
learning. And come here, so there's wine involved and food. Food is my best friend.
Speaking to the soul of all of us. Exactly. Don't we all love it?
Yeah.
So then, or can ordinary people, non-artists, go and book in? What size are the groups that can go?
Oh, yeah, I would get messages all the time, even though I say these are beginner classes. Like, even though I have repeat customers, it's still the same level, beginner classes. And I would get messages, I really can't paint, or I haven't held a paintbrush since school. And I'm like, that's so sad. Come to me, and you'll never let the paintbrush down again. So, but people come for different reasons. It might be just to go with a friend, or they come on their own because they're after following me on Instagram or wherever, and they can see the progress of painting flowers. I would put up lovely little videos, progress videos. And some people say, oh, I'd love to try that. And if that little spark of interest is in that person, my job is done. Because all you need is the spark, and they might pursue it, maybe not with me, but with somebody else. So I say, yes, come along. Even if you have a slight bit of interest, it means you can do it.
Absolutely.
And then you would have other people coming in groups just to spend time with their loved ones or their friends and do something different, an experience rather than, I don't know, going shopping for the afternoon or just going for lunch.
Yeah, for
People
sure.
want to spend time with each
Yeah,
other, but do
They
something.
do. And I love the idea of people
Yeah.
leaving with a piece of their own art and
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to everybody's inner child.
Oh, they to be skipping out of the place. And so do I. Like
Yeah.
I get a great buzz out of it. I really do. Like I think that's why I do it when I see everybody else so happy. Makes me so happy.
Of course.
And you're kind of sharing that and just holding a space for people.
Yeah.
So this is a space for you to be creative for like 3 hours,
Of course.
But the nerves when people come in. Okay, so we're all having a laugh and the cup of tea and chit-chatting. And then we're getting down to all the introductions, getting down to the nitty gritty, and the room goes silent. I have my lovely music playing in the background, music that I like to be creative to. And next it goes silent. And I just have to say, you are allowed to breathe now. Come on, you can breathe. And all the laughs again, because they're really concentrating at the start, and I try and make it as easy as I can. And then you get into the flow and another hour and they're just delighted with themselves and they can't believe that their pieces actually come to life.
Quite organically.
Yeah.
Because they're there in that space.
They are. And I walk around a little bit, have a few little words if anybody needs any help, but they're basically looking at me and I do step by step and they follow along.
Isn't that fabulous?
And they're all so different. Everybody's piece, nothing is a carbon copy of mine. You really can see the person's personality coming out straight away from one
And
class.
even the way they mix the colours, I'm sure, is so unique to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's so unique to how they are on a given day, because like everything else in life, the world will always meet us where we're at, and we will see the world through our nervous system all the time. So if somebody arrives in with bag and baggage emotionally, they may choose different colours or choose their colours in a different way, or approach the canvas or the lampshade in a different way.
I know, and you can see it even in the tightness of hand, or maybe they're just a little bit stiffer at painting, whereas somebody's just freer and doesn't really care, and that's what you're trying to achieve by the end. You're like, no, just free it up a little bit. We should do some yoga moves at the start to free up our elbows and your wrists and everything.
And just breathing, Caroline, just breathing. It's so important, because we all hold our breath all of the time. If I work with clients in my own private practice as a therapist, and before I do any work, I do some breathing work just to help people to settle and ground.
That's amazing.
People presume that they're ready for what they've shown up for. But we all have a sense of holding tight in the bud. And it's hard to break up.
I was even doing that today. Holding tight. This is a new experience for me as well. So we're all the same.
We're all the same.
Yeah.
We're all stretched toddlers.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
We really are. And we're all as nervous today in our adult bodies as we were when we were 8 years old, until we do some of those physiological things that we can do to just settle our body. Will allow our body to settle our mind, really. So breathing is a wonderful way to do that, even before your class. If you
and even just saying that this morning. So it's a busy week for me this week, and I went to bed all over the place last night. But before I went to sleep, I did a little bit of breathing, but then I set my alarm extra early and I said, I need to do a meditation tomorrow morning. It's going to be a big day. So, and I did, and I just It was only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was a breathing one, like breathing expansion and sensing the breath in your body, what tall and wide and it was just so lovely, just grounding. So it wasn't like visualizing, it was just the breath and just your body. I'm calmer for it,
Of course.
you know,
Of
through the
course.
whole day. It's
Yeah.
great.
The very day
So,
that you're so busy and think you don't have time for a meditation is the day you need to do a meditation for twice as long.
yes.
So
Isn't
you
that?
did so
Oh,
well.
I should have did 20 minutes.
You did so well. I was just going to say 10 minutes at this time in your life when you are literally meeting yourself coming backwards. You did really well.
Yeah.
And people will
Yeah.
often say to me, I can't manage 3 minutes without a thought coming into my mind.
Yeah.
Nobody can manage 3
No.
minutes without a thought coming into. Thoughts come in and out of our minds all the time. All we do is tell them to tip on.
Yeah. And how do you manage that? When your thoughts come in?
Yeah, so, well, I suppose because I'm so practiced at this
Yeah.
stage, I have a little thing that I would share with people as, a go-to thing to do when you're getting into the habit of meditating and
Yeah.
believing in yourself meditating,
Yeah.
I think is the most important part. Because if you think you can meditate, you're right. If you think you can't meditate, you're right. It's the placebo. It's what you believe is true. So I always say, when a thought comes into your head, just notice it, acknowledge it, and then tell it to tip on.
Yeah.
So,
Move along.
yeah, NATO that. Notice it, acknowledge it, and tell it to tip on. So when you have, and I have a very funny story, I did tell it on the podcast before, I can't remember with whom, but I had a lovely client at one point who was feeling very exacerbated by life, and she came back after a session and she said, I did that thing you said when I was meditating. I just kept getting bombarded with thoughts, and I was trying to do the NATO, the notice it, acknowledge it, and tell it to tip on, but I was chock-a-block with thoughts. So I just did a natafo. Is that okay? And I figured I knew what was coming. So so notice it, acknowledge it, and tell it to tip the bleep on. So I said, listen,
love it.
whatever works for you. So natafo became
I think I borrowed
that's
that
the
one.
level up. Yes. So when NATO doesn't work, you can natafo. There you go.
Oh, definitely.
And it's
have
just
to do
these
that.
thoughts are always going to come in. Of course,
they always
nobody
are,
can
yeah.
quiet their mind. And I think
Yeah.
if you think that you're a Buddhist monk and you're not doing your job well, you're not going to feel like you can meditate. But if you realize I'm just an ordinary person
Yeah.
in an ordinary life,
Yeah.
just doing my ordinary thing, I'm just trying to be present with my breath. That's meditating.
Yeah. And then, and I found that I hadn't meditated in a while, or there'd be a big break, and then I'd be giving out to myself. And then I'd say, just start again. Just start again. Even if your practice hasn't been routine or anything, it doesn't mean you're, gone to the dogs. So just start again. Well, I do that with everything. Diet, whatever, exercise. If you go off kilter a wee bit, just start again.
Sure. And I actually, or even be easier on yourself again. The start again can be even a little bit of a pressure subliminally. Even if you genuinely just show up, continue showing up. And as I show up in this red hot poker moment, I'm about to do my meditation, rather than the begin again, I think sometimes is the big stick with which we beat ourselves innocuously all the time. We're all doing that. And, social
that's a
media
great way
makes
to look at it.
perfection look so normal, and it's not, it doesn't exist.
No.
No,
So not at all.
Meditating is just one of those things. You can do it on the move. You can be meditating to all intents and purposes in motion, picking up your fruit in Aldi if you really need to. And if you are intentional about it, you can be walking down the fruit aisle and just literally doing a physiological sigh. So breathing in and then a tiny little breath on the top so that you've really filled your lungs, and then a conscious exhale. Right. As long as
I'm doing it now.
Yeah, do.
Pretending I'm an Aldi.
That's absolutely great.
Yeah.
As long as your exhale is longer and slower than your inhale, the message you send through your phrenic nerve, which is, so your diaphragm is a limb.
Yeah.
And the message you send through your phrenic nerve to the heart for heart coherence is that we're safe, we're not being chased by a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah.
And that sends the message up to the brain, and the brain waves just settle themselves, and all is well. Within 2 or 3 rounds of physiological sigh, you have embodied a totally different state.
We need that so much.
Yeah.
Like, I know I need that. Yeah, over and over again. I think more so since I've started more of my own business in the last 5 years. When you're working for other people, you can do the job and let it go. I was very good at that, and get on to the next thing. But your mind can be busy because it's your own thing. and what am I doing the right thing with this? This is going well. Oh, like never stops.
Yeah.
So meditation is one of the only things that help. But actually painting helps. So I would find meditation is like, when I'm painting and your mind clears and
Yeah.
you're just in the flow and time just evaporates. So I need more of that.
Yeah.
But when you run your own business and it's mostly just you doing all the work, it can be 75% admin and
Yes.
25% actually creating and the nice parts. So
And that
to work
flow
on that.
state, can you still access flow state, albeit that now your creative self is your profession as well?
Yeah. Oh, I think I can. But I schedule it in. You have to schedule it in. It's like, okay, Wednesday, Thursday next week. It's just me in the studio. I'm not opening the computer. I'm just painting, and I can get into it really quick.
Yeah.
I think now there can be a little bit of tension at the start. So say I have an idea for a painting, and it's a hazy idea and I'm really excited about it and I can't wait to get painting that. And I have my material. So maybe it's from a photograph and it's a scene of a beautiful garden. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it. Yes, next Wednesday, I'm going to paint that. And then you get in and it's next Wednesday morning and the pressure has built up, you know. So it takes me a while to let that go because I want this piece to be lovely. I want it to be just as it is in my head. And if you're not getting that straight away, there can be a bit of resistance to even starting. So it's like what you said, you're all just show up.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm feeling that resistance, and it can be so strong, like you could walk out and go out for coffee and not even start. But I go, just get the canvas out.
Yeah.
Just take my reference photo, take my inspiration out and put it all over the table or pin it to the wall. That's another bit done.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, me. Pat on the back. I have to give myself congratulations every step of the way and pick my colours, mix my colours. And maybe that's all I do that day.
Yeah.
And I go home. And then the next day, you get up even more excited because the canvas is out, the paints are out, the colours are out. You've done your layout and then you're just starting.
Yeah.
And that's
also
when the
you've
best
slept
part.
on it, Caroline, as well.
Yeah.
You see, you've engaged and you're
Yeah.
going to be throwing off the chemicals that are requisite for that creativity. And when you sleep on that, you'll catch fragments of that in your dream state.
Yeah.
So you'll be
Yeah.
envisioning what it's going to be like to show up there and actually
Yes.
do it.
Yeah,
Sleep
yeah.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
Even when kids are studying and they panic about an exam coming up and they want to stay up all night
Yeah.
to study, and we can't get the message across to them with enough impetus that is not going to work. But when we give them the psychoeducation of why it doesn't work, invariably you'll see children really thrilled at understanding that the best of your affirming of your learning happens when you're asleep.
Really?
So if your hippocampus has a job to do, and all of the different parts of us have jobs to do. I mean, your hand is going to do a different job than your foot.
Yeah.
Well, equally, your hippocampus has a very special role.
Yeah.
And it is to reinforce all of your learning and file it away accordingly for you. So it does a file save as when you sleep at night.
Oh, wow.
Insofar as you get quality sleep. So looking into the architecture of sleep and your sleep hygiene. So if you do some quality learning, anything up to 50 minutes or an hour, depending on what age you are, and how important the exams are and how much investment you have in the particular exam and how important it is to you, a really important part of your study plan is to get a really good night's sleep. Because during sleep, the hippocampus will rearrange things and it'll do a file save as and pop it away in on top of a schema in your brain that's quite like it, so that you can actually do a file open when the time is right. So likewise,
so would that be working for me then?
Of course, absolutely. And if you do a little visualization before you go to sleep of what it is you want to do the next day, not the finished product. So if we can, it's like with everything, if we can let go of our tight grip on the actual outcome, but the desired outcome rather as a feeling state, we have a much better chance of letting our sleep then move things into the right places for us in our hippocampus and tee it up for us the next day.
Oh, amazing. I'm doing that. I'm doing some degree of that already, but I didn't know that it had a greater purpose, visualizing what I want to do the next day, or a bit like doing your to-do list, but a nice to-do list, like paint, create and that kind of thing.
And you said a really important part of that as well. You said celebrating the small wins. So if I can't, get all of the words on a page if I'm writing an essay, or if I can't get my canvas to the stage of completion that I envisaged, that's okay. Celebrate the small wins. I showed up.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm
Yeah.
coming back to it now again.
Mm.
In the case of somebody who's writing an essay for school or for a third level assignment, just get words on a page. You can format them later. There's a lovely phrase in Irish, I'm sure you too smile na hipra. A good start is half the battle. It's just
Yeah.
bursting through that
Yeah.
initial pain barrier,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
resistance
Yeah.
to starting.
That's great. Yes. Well, I'm not alone then.
Oh
I'm not
no, we're all the same. We're all the same. And a
Yeah.
lot of us, you know, particularly because we're so busy, we will tend to hang back on the things perhaps that absolutely need to be done. And we know they need to be done, but they might feel a little bit banal or monotonous.
Yeah.
And it's not that we have an attention deficit in general, but we just can't be bothered doing those things at the moment. We would rather do something that's important to us in a given moment, which could be sitting reading a magazine, whiling away the time.
Yeah.
That's equally important.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just shifting our sense of self. If we are, if we're self-deprecating because we think we're not making progress all the time, it's backwards we'll be going.
Yeah.
So if we can just appreciate, listen, I'm here, I'm showing up.
That's it. I got this far.
Yeah.
You
So
don't really
celebrating the small wins.
don't really know what's ahead, but we'll just keep going in the general direction.
I know it's shimmying in and having the little bit of fun. Nobody better to do that than colourful, gorgeous you. You have the busiest week of your career heretofore, I would imagine, this week. So
Well, it is. It's the launch of my spring summer collection, so my fashion collection, and this has been in the making from this time last year. So it takes a long time. People mightn't think, oh, maybe she did that in the last month. Absolutely not. From designing, from painting the flowers, the first flowers that go onto the print, onto the silk, getting it sampled and the whole lot, and it's here. So yeah, it's great. It's great.
So you launched online, and when you wakened up this morning and checked your emails, you found that you were almost out of stock.
Well, one of the dresses, so it's a collection. It's a lovely small collection of about 8 different types of dresses and scarves. And one of the dresses completely sold out, and all the others are well on their way.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's like 1, 2, and 3 pieces left of things. And I have to put one on pre-order because I know I have some coming down the line in
Isn't
a few
that
weeks.
just fabulous?
No, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, because it's like putting your little baby out there, that you've been caring for a year. And but it's more of yourself. Not that it's like self-approval, but you really are giving a lot. I feel when you're in the creative industry, you're very, very attached to your work. My husband works in a completely different industry, and he thinks we're all mad. He said, you, Caroline, and all your other artist friends and colleagues, you're all crazy. You're far too attached to your work. It's like, but how can we not be?
Yeah.
It's like, it's all part of me. Like I was saying at the beginning, who is Caroline behind the brand? I'm like, can I even separate them at this moment? Because it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
So it's a great spot to be in now. Spring is coming, the collection is out, and just looking forward to the year ahead.
Amazing.
It was a very dark January, wasn't it? Very
It was
wet.
a dark and wet January.
Yeah.
But as you say, this collection, everybody is like a year-long or a 3-year-long overnight success. I mean, this collection looks like it came out just in spring, on time for spring and summer. But actually, you've been working on this in the background for so long.
Yeah.
So where have you been selling into, and where will you continue to sell into?
Well, I've sold about 4 different collections into Brown Thomas, which is amazing. And last year's was one of the best. It sold out as well. So I'm just delighted. And they're very encouraging. Like I showed them before, a complete hand painted skirt. So this is a big skirt, hand painted on. No chance of putting this in a washing machine or anything. And I kind of just showed them as a once off. It's like, well, what do you think? As well as showing them everything else, and they were like, we love it. We want you to do more. I was like, really? And I was like, but you can't wash it. And they were like, so what? Spot clean it. Because it literally is a piece of art. Yeah. So I've been doing those now for the last year. So they sell there, and then they sell on my own website. And then I've a few really lovely boutiques around Ireland. Like Ireland is small. The client base is small. So like I wouldn't be in everywhere, but I'm in lovely boutiques that would have the clients there that love colour. Once the customer's there, I like my collection to be there, for them.
I love it.
It's quite a niche little area, I think, with all the colour and print. And
it is, of course, Caroline. And I suppose to some extent it's in its infancy, really, albeit
Yeah.
that you've been working on this all of your life as an
Yeah.
idea and as a direction.
Mm.
You're funneling it now in this particular way.
Yeah.
But I feel that as it gets out
Mm.
there, it will feed back to you what it needs and it will continue to expand.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I have that feeling, since I moved into the new
Yeah.
studio in the last 6 months, that it's given me room to see more as well as physically be in a bigger space, what's possible. So I'm really excited about the future, but I'm really excited about coming into myself with like it's a gift really.
Yeah.
Like everybody has their gifts. So I'm excited to see where I'll go with it. I know I'm on the right path now,
Yes.
and I think it's about spreading a bit of creativity and color. And I know it's a bit of a cliche. People say, I just want to make other people feel happy, but it must be across the board
Yeah.
because when you think about why you're here and what you want to achieve, it's helpful to other people. Like the help that you give to other people and all the different avenues that you work in as well, Sheila. Like it is about um, helping people and helping them feel better, and it makes you feel better in turn. And then just being connected to them all. And I actually think that's what, no matter what avenue you go down, we're not all just here on our own. We're so connected. So this is everybody's goal, no matter where it ends up being, what career you do or what you're doing in life. It's about sharing and connecting and, yeah, love for each other
I
on a broader,
totally agree. I
yeah.
totally agree. And I think the more that which we do to earn our currency, let's say, which is so
Mm.
base by comparison with that lovely journey you've taken us on, whatever we do to earn our currency, if it can possibly be on purpose with
Mm.
the alignment that we require and how we're seen in the world and how we show up for other people, if everything converges into one space and can all be happening at the same time, we
Mm.
are happier people. And then
Yeah,
we're better at what we do and then we can do more of it. It's
yeah,
sustaining, it's self-sustaining.
yeah, yeah. No, that's amazing. That's it, and just when all the parts of you kind of align but it's looking at the balance as well, oh, maybe I need a little bit of this now and I need a little bit of that because sometimes starting your own business, there is no work-life balance.
No, I
So,
know.
and I think I'm kind of in the 5 year time of it, and thank goodness it's going well
Yeah.
because a lot of people try something for this amount of time, 3 years, maybe 5 years, and keep going and then decide, am I doing this?
Yes.
I'm going to keep doing that. Now, there's avenues I won't go back down. Like I've tried my hat at loads of different roads, but for now, I'm on the right one. Like even before I did this, I was doing wedding invites and everything years ago. Like it was great for the time. And I was down that road and then I went, I do not need to do wedding invites. I
Yes.
thought it would be more creative than
Yes.
it was. Everybody loved them.
Yes.
And I stopped it actually when the business was doing really well,
Yeah.
but it wasn't fulfilling enough of a creativity for me.
Yes.
It was helping people on their day of their wedding. And it felt just too fleeting or too,
Oh, and also,
um,
when you have so much capacity, there comes a time to scale. It's okay to
yeah,
scale. There's nothing vulgar about scaling. There's
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
vulgar about
yeah, yeah.
noticing. I'm amazing at doing that. But also the world has changed. People do
Mm.
e-invites now as
Oh,
well. And
totally. Yeah.
that which would previously have been a niche that would have earned, a good crust
Yeah.
has changed.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can still have your design. We had the amazing Niall O'Loughlin on here a number of episodes ago and we
He's
talked about, he's
fantastic. Yeah,
amazing,
yeah, yeah.
amazing, and such a funny, lovely, entertaining man as well. We had a great time with him. And we talked about AI and digital art and how things have changed. We've absolutely agreed, and we always do, the future is human, simple
Mm-hmm.
as. But we
Mm-hmm.
can't do without tech either. So as you noticed that was something that worked for you at a time, there came a time then when it didn't serve you. And the wisest thing to do was to park it
Yeah.
and move on and do something else.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be things that I'm going to try in the future that I think is a great idea, and it won't be, or it'll be a disaster, or you'll end up losing a bit of money on it, or just not liking it anymore. But there's no harm. I think you need to try it because even if something fails, okay, so even if I launch the spring summer collection and nobody buys anything, oh my God, that was terrible colours. Janie Mac, I did bad decision. Bad decision. You can look at your mistakes and probably learn from them.
Yeah.
It's like, or build up another skill along the way. I love if you go down a wrong path, but then when you get to another project, you go, oh wow, well, didn't I learn something from that?
Yeah.
You know, like even the whole, like with the wedding invites, like it was even the skill, like I had to go to wedding fairs. It was even this, and I was a little bit nervous. Like a few years ago, I would never sit here and speak to you. So I've learned to stand in front of people and have to chat about my product over and over again for a whole day. Now, this is just a small little example. So I'm not doing that anymore. But I know now how to talk about my
Yeah.
product. Don't be as worried. Don't be as nervous. So that's a skill you pick up from maybe a failed avenue, you know, that you've done. So
And sometimes
yeah,
needs must. Sometimes you
yeah,
realize that that's what you have to do at the time to get seen, heard, and valued.
yeah,
And then that very gently takes you to the next level.
yeah,
And you're all the while adding on to your skill set as you go. Human skills are so important in
yeah,
everything we do. Once you're peddling a commodity that's your own,
yeah.
you absolutely have to bootstrap the human skills straight away. The
Everything.
empathy, the
Yes.
start up sentences, the engagement with somebody that you don't know.
Yeah.
And really, and
Mm,
people can pick up energy. Nervous systems sync. So you can't fake it forever. You can fake it till you make it in a conversation if you're trying to break into new ground.
yeah, yeah.
But people can see through that.
Yeah.
So you
Then you
have
have
to
to
get
know
very
it.
good at it. Hone the
Yeah,
skill.
yeah,
Hone the skill if
yeah,
you
yeah.
want the longevity hack to be able to do it
Yeah,
long term.
yeah, that's it. And but even, you know, when you're speaking like to people, but even like networking for your business, you never know who you're going to talk to
Yeah.
that can help you down the road, or the connections you make. Like I would do a lot of, you know, what I want to achieve, or you have a vague vision of what you want to manifest. And it always comes after meditation. Like it always comes then for me, what you see happening. Like the whole studio, been a creative studio, helping take care of other people, teaching art. When I got that little of a bit of an idea or a vision after meditation, well, about 8 years ago, I went, absolutely not. No way. I never teach. I never taught anybody until 3 years ago. And this idea kept knocking on my door, and it kept knocking on the back of my brain or in my heart every now and then. And I'd be very afraid. And I went, oh, but I've only a home studio. Nobody could fit in here. And then I said, I need a big studio space, or I need something bigger because, you know, I just can't fit people in here. And then it was one morning like that. And just the idea popped into my head again. And I was like, well, look out there at your lovely extension onto the back of your house. And it was a beautiful sunny April morning. The sun was streaming in. And I went, well, if I move my dining table out, and if I take the couch out completely, move all the furniture out of that room, I'll fit 12 people in there.
Yeah.
And I went, and I've kind of artwork on the wall. Like doesn't look too bad. I think people would like to come in, and I'll make a cake, you
Yeah.
know, welcome people in. Well, I was so nervous. It was like I was going to do my degree final again, or do my leave insert again or something. I never taught anybody. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't even do a practice run. I'm like that. I'm a bit like a one take wonder, you know, just do it. I get more nervous in the practicing of it. It was the best thing ever. Everybody loved it. And I think maybe after the fourth workshop, I said to people, you know, this is only my fourth workshop ever. And they were like, what? I couldn't even say it after the first one.
Yeah.
I was even too nervous to tell people because
know.
I'd be thinking you're a fake.
I know.
But I know all the skills, but it was just, do I have it in me to portray that or to give that, you know, to other
I
people
know.
as well?
It's that sense of imposter syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even, you know, with somebody like you who is so skilled and talented. Because I think we all come to certain crossroads in our lives, and they're there to serve us. They're not there to, I mean, whoever is the God of one's own understanding is there to catch us in, not catch us out.
Yeah.
So these opportunities, when they arrive, are there to help us to see the bigger capacity we have and to help us to level up all the time.
Yeah.
So by doing it and by literally hooring it out, as I like to
Yeah.
say all the time,
Love it.
heuristics, not knowing the end result, it's the good version of it. You just realise then, gosh, I can do this. And then the next level is available to you. And I just think it's a great idea, Caroline, not to wait to be ready.
No.
Just show up. Just do it. Pull out your grit on those occasions. Don't wait for your discipline or for a discipline to present itself and practice till you get to a certain point of readiness, as you might perceive it. That's all very subjective.
Yeah.
Rather, sometimes just feel it in your gut. Do it and let the feel-good factor catch up.
I know. And
and let
it's
the
like,
feedback
yes.
encourage you to go further.
And it got so much that the pain in my heart if I didn't do it was worse than just sitting there and trying to forget about it. So I nearly had to do it
Yeah,
for the ease to come,
I know.
you
I love
know?
that. And also the
Yeah.
fact that, I love that you're speaking to limitless thinking as you're just
Mm,
innocuously, as you're talking about this, the
mm,
psychology of the limitless thinking that you were willing to engage with to start
mm,
this is serving you so well. And
mm,
you're hardwiring your brain now for more limitless thinking as time goes on. So new
mm,
opportunities will come in the door all the time. After I spoke to Niall O'Loughlin, just for example,
mm,
would you believe we had suggestions that I would go. So we talked, I can't remember how it came up in our conversation. It was Niall related. I didn't come into the equation at all in the
yeah.
conversation. We were talking about the fact that he does wedding fairs. This is what reminded me when you
Mm,
said this with his son.
yeah.
And it was a lovely side shuffle into the fact that he's now, he has passed on the skill and the talent and the DNA. And then he was beautifully modest and said that his son has more personality than he. And the story
Yeah.
contained, it was
Yeah.
lovely. He's a
Yeah.
very entertaining man. And that they do wedding fairs and various other events now together.
Mm,
And we were talking about all of the ways that weddings have changed. So you talked about your invites. And I was approached by people to go to weddings as a therapist. So I'm thinking, hang on. Like when I got the first message, but as I got one, I got a
yeah.
number of them. So I don't know, do algorithms pick this up or are people scouting? There must be people scouting.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I got one, I got a number of them. And it was that, so I envisaged in a comedic sort of way, the Gypsy Rose Lee type of thing. I'm
Oh,
thinking, no, thank you. I'm rather too well qualified for such a thing. But when I got over my
Like
toffee
sitting
nosed
in a
response,
corner with your scarf over
yes.
your head.
But you know what? Actually, it actually was a great idea if you had time and
Mm,
space in your life. So that apparently the singles table is the hardest one to fill at a wedding nowadays. People aren't all in relationships,
yeah.
and people want to have a really nice time. And you'll have male singles and
Yeah.
female singles, and people don't necessarily get an invite plus one anymore. The
It's, yeah.
I don't know, the template seems to have
Yeah.
changed. But they were saying, in the same way as your artist can show up for an hour and do as many sketches as they can in that hour, the therapist could show up and people could sit in with their friends and just work out what's their attachment style, what hasn't gone well for them. So it was like a 10-minute speed session with your therapist.
I love it.
Like who, if you were there till the end of the day trying to work out, now what can I do with my skills and my talents to earn a few quid? You'd
Yeah.
never come up with wedding fare as a therapist.
No,
There
you
you go.
wouldn't. No, you
So
wouldn't.
there's,
Wow.
there's
So
a
maybe
niche for
you're
everybody
going to try,
nowadays.
depending on who's asking you and what celebrity wedding, never knock it. Never knock it,
The
Sheila.
celebrity wedding bit was the first part of that whole story that actually lured me. I have to say, I didn't like to nail my colours to a mast there, but
We'll
actually,
have to search now to see who's getting married and just
yes,
pitch to
the
them.
high end. That's a horse of a different colour. Horse of a different colour altogether. But the point being, though, there literally is.
Yeah.
If you're willing to be limitless in your thinking,
Mm.
like if you have limited thinking and a fixed mindset, you could have all of your skill and talent and actually think that you don't know how to earn a crust.
Yeah.
And that, well, you have all of this skill and talent, but it's really just for you. Like it's not anything that you can peddle or share or monetize
Yeah.
or,
And that's huge in the art
Yeah.
industry and the creative industry. So like I'm 47 now. So going back, do you know what I mean, to when I was going to college. Now my parents are great. They were like, go to college, but I don't know what you're going to do with it. I don't know what you're going to do with an art degree because they don't make any money. That's the thing. And the whole thing, oh, you're going to be an artist. What are you going to do? Draw on the dole. That joke came up loads of times from all the uncles and everything. But like that's you're limiting yourself to, what can be done and how creative you can be. Like look at all the products I'm doing. There's something for everybody, and one idea leads on to another.
of course.
So yeah, that's a great
And
idea.
you're expanding, and I'm dying to hear how that can happen because I'm sure there are so
Mm,
many people listening would love to know. But we have so many people since COVID, I think in particular,
mhm.
having to be inventive and perhaps beginning because they may be good at making a cake, beginning with one cake for one birthday or buns for somebody's party,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now they're inundated and they
yeah.
actually can't take orders anymore. And who knew? Pre that, they didn't realize they had a
Mm,
skill that was actually a talent, which is something that makes them feel like they're coming home to themselves
yeah,
and they can do it in the flow state
yeah.
and they can earn a few quid.
I know, and it's all about giving yourself the time
Yeah.
to do it. Like when people come to my workshops, they give themselves that little window on one day of time, and God knows where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But like that through COVID, when everybody wasn't working, people had the time to explore. And isn't it that the beauty of people? We don't just sit and stop. People want to be doing something. You know, you want to be creative. Like we're born to be creative,
Yeah.
whatever way that
Yeah.
is. You know, we were created, you know, we create things. It's just, that's the way we are. We don't just sleep, eat, die, you know.
Yeah, you're so
Yeah.
right. And you know, it's such a creativity is such a leveler, really.
Mm.
You know, when people can experience, like if somebody can teach you a song and you didn't think you could sing, I mean, how good are you going to feel about yourself? Whether you're 47 or 97, if you all of a sudden have a party piece that's a bit polished because somebody is playing their piano beside you,
Yeah.
and then somebody comes in on a guitar behind them, all of a
Yeah.
sudden you sound like that notion you had of
Amazing.
what a singer sounds like.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
so expressive. And you're right, we're wired for it. And I think a lot of us, I think it was Wayne Dyer that said, don't die with your song still in you. So, you know, a lot of us probably do slip through the decades not realizing how actually really talented we are until
Yeah.
maybe somebody writes us the permission slip, like when we listen to your story.
And it's don't bury it down like that. That's a lovely thing from Wayne Dyer. I'm just going to write that down, because that's exactly the way I felt. But like it was so loud, that song was getting so loud that I had to just let it out and do it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, if people ignore that or they put themselves down like that, I can't do that. I can't do that. I think just try.
Yeah.
Just try.
And conversations like this are the time in somebody's life when they might look at things differently, and then the things they look at change. So if you can hear a lived experience story from somebody who is extremely talented, we're not, you know, we're not suggesting that everybody has that level of talent, because we're all different and that's okay.
Yeah.
But whatever is your own expression of your creativity might just be the thing that brings a nice sense of harmony within you. I work with a lot of people who are very down and very sad and very depressed, and all variations on that theme.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is amazing to bounce people back in a cost-free, actionable protocol that can happen the very next day after leaving my clinic is to join a choir or a snooker club or a darts club, or, you know, go to one of Caroline's classes. Do something that is connection-based. So you've got human beings in your space, and that it's creative. And art is creative, but so is playing darts. If that's your thing.
It is,
If that's your wheelhouse. Play your darts and learn to play them well. And maybe you never realised before that you'd be good at that. Or cars and coffee on a Sunday morning. I think it's once a month.
Yeah.
You know, if you like cars and you like coffee.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Show up. And
even
if
the
you can
kids look
meet other
forward to
people.
that.
Yes. Yeah. But that's doing something that's connection based and that's creative if you're so inclined. Because perhaps you read about cars all the time. Perhaps, you know, you'd love to mix with people, but you think, well, I'm never going to get to Italy, or I'm never going to get to wherever these things happen. They don't just happen far away. They're happening up the road in DKIT.
Yeah.
And you might meet invariably you'll meet other people who are there and they have a similar interest. That alone is creativity.
Oh, it is. And I heard another thing that I haven't, for a while I was practicing it. It was like, go on a date with yourself once a month. So do something that isn't just my own usual painting, but it could be going to the theatre, or not by yourself, but it could be like that. You know, join a choir or go and practice something, or, you know, with the Food and Drink Society, go and sample some lovely food that you wouldn't ever go on a tour with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just to do something different, even if it's a half an hour. Yeah.
It's a lovely idea. It can be like, you know, if you can't get a holiday away because it's too expensive and you can't carve out the time and you can't be away from your business for that length of time. But if you can give yourself a 1 hour holiday every day where you do your meditation and a little walk, but that you really devote yourself to that you are absolutely going to have your 1 hour holiday every day. And I'm borrowing from the amazing Andrea Splendori when I say that. I did not come up with that myself, but I think it's an amazing idea. And I've, since speaking with him a number of years ago, he was on a podcast I had with Voice America 5 or 6 years ago. And I've never forgotten the feel-good factor I had in our interview when he talked about that. And he talked about the fact that if you build it in as a rule, you're far more likely to keep it because it's a rule, as something that's in your day rather than being wishy-washy about it. So write down every day, where am I going on my 1 hour holiday tomorrow? And by the way,
Oh, I
he
love
was
that. I'm
amazing.
doing that.
He was amazing because he also said he covered all the bases. He said, and by the way, if you can't carve out the 1 full hour in one chunk of time, you might do 10 minutes of your holiday. Like if you were going away to Marbella, you're going to have to get to the airport. Then you're going to have to get to Spain. You're going to have to then get to wherever you're going. So it's in chunks.
Yeah.
Then you get to unpack your bag and be beside the pool, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, equally, your 1 hour holiday every day could be 10 minutes of meditation in the morning, a 20-minute walk later in nature where you really genuinely leave the phone behind you and be with nature. Not alone, but all one with nature. So totally immersing. Yes. And then build out the rest of your hour as your day allows. Perhaps very genuinely just eating on your own without the children. I know we always try to have our meals together, but sometimes it's chaotic.
Yeah, that sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, what do you mean eating on your own?
Yeah, but it's lovely because you're engaging with food, which you love to do.
Yeah.
It's not just mouth entertainment. It's very genuinely something that you're enjoying. And if you can do it with quiet, with your music playing, who knows, that could be the rest of your 1 hour holiday. But as you say, it's a case of finding time and space for you. And there isn't any one way to practice self-care.
No, it's a lot. Yeah, all different ways. And it's finding what works for you. But you see, hearing all those tips, I've learned so much today. I'm going to be taking all those with me.
And they're
I'll be
all,
texting you going, I've done my 1 hour holiday now. I've been here, there, and everywhere.
I actually think it's a great one. I think it's a great one. And I think even then, if we do our heart hook from that into the creativity that you're using as your business now, if somebody is able to start with just a sense of this can happen because it happened for somebody else, that can just get a little bit of a dopamine rise happening within them, maybe where they were flatlining before, they didn't believe in themselves.
And I think, like, I often listen to other people talking, and there'd be people I aspire to, different brands. They mightn't be exactly my walk of life, but they're really inspiring at what they're doing. And I think if it gets you going, that means there's a possibility. Somebody said that to me. It's not that you're like jealous of somebody. You know, jealousy, this is what I've read. You probably know all about this. It has its purpose because it's sparking something in you that you want. But that means that you can totally achieve that. So it's a little sign for you to say, well, you need to go after that for yourself and in your own lane.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it's, again, that's gorgeous, Caroline. And again, it's the mindset with which you view the other things that you watch other people doing.
Yeah.
If you were to compare in a way that left you feeling othered or less than, well, that's going to cramp your joy.
Yeah.
So that's not going to help.
Yeah.
But if you look at exactly the same situation and you say, well, success leaves a trail. I wonder how they got there. Let me see. And if you follow along.
Be inquisitive. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did they do that?
Yeah.
Where did they go? Did they go to college? Where did they work beforehand? Or what are they doing in their business? Yeah.
I would say, actually, because we're all consuming all the time. We're consuming in terms of, and everything is so fast. We can consume whatever food we like. And, you know, rubbish food, rubbish thoughts, rubbish sleep, rubbish mood, all the things.
Yeah.
But, you know, nice food, nice feelings. And equally with people and all of the other consumption that's available to us. So the people we follow online, the music we listen to. You know, if you're listening to heavy metal, and I'm not debasing heavy metal because I know it has its following, but if, you know, it's loud and it's a particular genre, versus if you're listening to orchestral music, there's a different mood in the room. So whatever you're consuming through any of your senses at any time is data for your body, and your body will meet you there.
Yeah.
So if you're watching somebody like Caroline, who's rising by the minutes and loving it, and she's beautiful and she's as real in real time as the person that we can see, the brand that we can see rising, having its moment, you might just be in a time in your life where you're ready to see, how does that feed back into my world? How can I interpret that now myself with my skill set?
Yeah, because I was there 6 years ago wanting to transition from one area to another and really not knowing how to do it. So it's just, you just have to look around and put the feelers out and see, carve a little path for yourself. Yeah.
And there isn't any one way. So tell us how, so in a very basic way, is there a blueprint? So you're working at home, therefore overheads are, they're absorbed by household overheads anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's no rent and So you're covered with that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then even from a point of view of not to make you squirm in your seat, but even insurance, do you need insurance when you're taking people into your home, or do you not? What you
Yes,
don't
but
know
it's
doesn't
not
hurt you
even,
at the
no,
time.
it's not expensive.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
just, and
no,
all
it's,
risks.
oh, yeah, you just get it. And then that covers you. So for the likes of my work, I would go out to events as well. So you might be at, say, Bloom in the Phoenix Park for 5 days, and that covers you. Anybody coming into your space,
Yeah.
it covers workshops at home, and it's for nothing. Like
Yeah.
people think those insurances extortionate, but they're not.
I know.
Yeah, and now that I've moved into my own place now, it's not even that bad.
Yeah.
It's just a little add-on.
Absolutely.
Change of address, a little add-on, and
Yeah.
it's perfect. Yeah.
It's good. But even
Yeah.
just to have that conversation
Yeah.
takes the pressure off somebody somewhere who's peeling their spuds, listening to this and thinking,
Yeah.
oh, but there are probably hidden costs. Well, there's one of them. I know we're the same as therapists. Wherever we work, we have to have our professional insurance. So for example, in my case, I go through Balins. We get a package for our professional insurance. And then wherever you're
Yeah.
practicing, you have to have your all risks. And it's not expensive. It's not
Yeah.
mitigatingly expensive
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then after that, when you decide then to get bigger, do you get in touch with Louth Enterprise Board or whatever is the equivalent in
Yeah.
one's own?
I did. I actually tried a few different things. So the Leo are brilliant. And they, like, one of the first things I did with them was a start your own business course. So you have to do that. But that was way back. I think that was when I moved back from London first.
Was that online by any chance?
No, it was
Oh,
in
no.
person.
Yeah.
It was actually 6 weeks in person.
Yeah.
It might be online now.
Yeah, I did it with them a number of years ago as well. And
Yeah.
it's funny when you were saying it, I was like, oh my goodness, because I knew your face from before we started chatting in relation to
Yeah.
this. I wondered,
Yeah.
but no, they're fabulous.
Yeah, yeah. So that was, yeah, so I do that. And then as you go on, so you might need maybe another support for your website. That was a great support. I think they paid 50% of the website at the time. And I know at one stage it went up to 80%, maybe it's back to 50 now. So I've gotten supports for that. And then when I wanted to redo the website add-ons, got support for that. Looking at export.
Is that even recently, the redo of the website and the
Yeah.
support? That's great. I think it's important for
And
people to know that. So,
now I'm actually getting somebody to consult with me that are going to come in and look at my website and what I need. And then they're going to say, well, this is the best thing for you. Instead of me just coming to Leo going, I think I need this, and this, and, applying for it and getting it done. Amazing support in all walks of life, your business, but definitely start your own business and your website to have something going on. If it, definitely apply for those. But then they do mentorship support. So you can just go, right, I have an idea. You can go just with an idea, even if you're not at the website stage yet. So they really look after you
Yeah.
from really, really small, just ideas. So I definitely talk to as many people as you can. like
yeah,
that.
I think that's fantastic. I think that's such a nugget. There's so much hope in that for lots of people that are listening and would love to get started. And then, of course, liaising with the likes of DKIT and taking on students and
Yes.
people to shadow you while you work.
I know, like that's all just happening now the last couple of months as well. And I think, as I said, the space just lends itself to that. But I'm a one-woman show now. I have people doing different things. My production gets done, or the website gets help, and the accountants and everything. But I was like, oh my goodness, I need help with my social media, the creative end, and even more in-depth stuff. And I just happened to be, it's all connections, happened to be talking to somebody else I knew, and she worked in DKT, and she went, we have students that would die to come and help you out, do some work experience. So I have a gorgeous girl, Anna, now with me for
Yes.
6 weeks,
Yes.
and we're getting on like a house on fire. She has sorted out my Pinterest. Can you believe I haven't been on Pinterest? The most creative little pin board you ever had, and I avoided it because of the amount of work. She has it up and running from last
Yeah.
week. And, all these things are
Yeah.
on my list can just be done in an instant. So
Amazing.
she's fabulous.
So again, the limitless thinking, Caroline,
Yeah.
and that's what we're trying to help people to understand. We're giving them a little window into the potential. So you can outsource these things without
Yeah.
having to break the bank. You can just be in a collaboration that works for somebody else as
Yeah.
well as it does for you.
Yeah.
And whilst she's serving the purpose really, really well, she's a gorgeous girl. I had the pleasure
Yeah.
of meeting her before we chatted. But look what she's learning too.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way
Yeah.
street.
Yeah. And hopefully she's learning. Hopefully she's learning something
Of
from me.
course she is. Absolutely. Of course, not
Yeah.
least the variety in any one day. I mean, look at the myriad of things that you
Yes, in
engage
the
with
last-
in any one day.
I know it's been a busy time, so yeah, you'll have a bit of fun around my studio
Yes,
at the
it's
moment. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So tell us about Saturday. Now, this is a fantastic initiative.
Oh
So you put the
yes.
word out before.
Yeah. So I love creating pieces. So back to my fashion collection. If you know it, it's lovely silk, free flowing fabrics. So nothing is too fitted. It's really letting the color and the print and the original fabric flow over the body and do its thing. But everybody looks so gorgeous in them. But I had so many questions over the more than over a year. Oh, but I'm 5'2". Is that going to fit me? And I was trying to do my best within shoots to capture that. And I wasn't quite hitting the nail. With professional models are gorgeous and there's a place for them. But I went, no, I need real women. So I put a call out on Instagram. I work with another girl called Claire from Thrive Social, and she helps me at the back end. She actually puts me on the straight and narrow. Caroline, you need to do this amount of stories, this amount of emails this week, and what have you got coming up? And I said, well, I want to show real women. But how am I going to do it? I didn't know how to do it. And she had a great idea. And she said, I told her, I said, I want to do little videos styling my dresses or my pieces on real women and showing how to tie the belt and tie the scarf. And she said, and I said, but I've nobody. I said, I don't know anybody really to do it, or how do I start? Put a call out on Instagram. And I went, I cannot do that. Nobody will answer me. Nobody will answer me. 400 plus people later messaged and answered. I was like, what? So it was just really a call out for women of all ages, shapes, sizes. If you like my brand, if you feel connected to what I do, if you'd like to come for a morning and just try on my pieces, have a lot of fun. And, everybody loves playing dress up. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But on the back of that, it's been amazing. I got a call from you, which is amazing to be sitting here. Um, a wonderful makeup artist volunteered her time for the women to do them up. Same with a hairdresser. Another stylist said, do you need a hand? I went, yes, I'll take all the hands I can get. And fabulous photographer. So it's all coming to pass. And I think all the girls are so excited. And we're going to have a
The
wonderful
best time.
morning. Tea, coffee, scones, buns, and dressing up. And yeah,
Isn't it
great.
just fabulous? Aren't people gorgeous?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
isn't it lovely in the middle of a busy world where you can be listening to social media that's negative and dark, or you can be listening to news on telly or reading news on
Yeah.
reading news that's negative and dark, and then people show up and they're actually gorgeous.
Yeah, I know.
What if people are actually fantastic? And this is what you're after experiencing in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, but I feel so lucky that the amount of people that wanted to do this or tagged somebody else, even that didn't know about
Mhm.
me, that went, oh, you love color and you love style, you love this girl. And she's asking for women of all ages. Like, I'm 47, and my customer is my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older, we're all in it together.
Yes,
And I
of
was like, I
course.
want everybody to experience it.
And
Yeah.
the visibility, people love visibility. We have found this now since starting the show. This iteration of the show has bamboozled us in relation to the people that would contact us all the time,
Yeah.
knowing can they put their bum on the chair?
Yeah.
And it is because every show will have its own signature style. And we have a little bit of fun here and we have a little bit of messing and carry on. We like the wee bit of style on the show as well. And that will attract a certain audience.
Yeah.
Our content is always really helpful as well. We'd like to think we're casting a wide net, usually covering issues that are creative or creative ways to manage, the stuff of life that maybe is a
Yeah.
little bit dark and difficult to deal
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
And so it's casting a wide net. It's reaching into the hearts of people that maybe wouldn't necessarily have the conversations if they couldn't listen to them privately or listen to them and then share a message with a friend, because it's kind of asking for a friend if you're talking about the Síle Show rather
Yeah.
than talking about yourself.
Yeah.
But visibility is what we've worked out is so important to people at the moment, particularly creative people. People get to a point where, and particularly in the world in which we live now, like we're not digital natives, but we're living in a world where everything is visible. Everything is out there. So people want their little piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And
That's
they
it.
want to
Yeah.
get in there and be seen
Yeah.
and be appreciated in your lovely silks.
And I think that's what, when you say to be seen, everybody wants to be
Yes,
seen
of course.
and acknowledged.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have a wonderful morning. And I was even saying to so many people, I think I may do this again for in the autumn time or another time of year, because the amount of people that wanted to do it,
Yeah.
it'd be great. Or do something, God knows what, this is going to unleash some other kind of event,
Yeah.
for
Even
people.
a collaborative collaborative with other designers then as
Yeah.
well. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
again, because you're not asking anything off anybody, you're offering them
Yeah.
this opportunity for visibility.
Yeah.
And visibility it's a lovely opportunity within itself to check in with where's my confidence?
Yeah.
Where's my self-esteem?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to have to level up because my self-esteem is quite low and I could fake it, but I'd love not to have to fake it. So
Yeah.
maybe if I dip my toes in the water, maybe the next time it won't be a fake it till you make it. Maybe it'll be a real sense of more confident me. And you're giving them the opportunity to do that. So it's really special.
Oh, well, hopefully I'll be more confident after it as well.
Well, I'm going to be
it's
so
all these
excited
things.
because I'm there to interview all of the people on the day. How do they feel in their skin? How did they feel before this? How do they feel in the clothes? You know, what is the meaning of life? What does this mean to them? Are you happy? What is joy? What is happy? Basic questions.
Yeah.
Even getting a chance to ask and answer those questions, honestly, the difference it makes to people. I host events not unlike that all the time.
Yeah.
Very simple questions,
Yeah.
and people getting a chance to actually work through the reticular activating system to turn down the noise and say, oh, how do I feel about my body, myself,
Yeah.
me and my skin? Just getting the chance to really genuinely be asked a question and everybody listening to hear their answer. Amazing.
Amazing.
You elevate people in the moment.
Oh, well, maybe there's something we could do together now.
Yeah, it's
that.
great.
Yeah,
It's going to be
yeah.
fantastic, Caroline. I absolutely
Yeah.
cannot wait.
Well, I can't wait to see you on Saturday. It's going to be amazing.
Going to be amazing. Now, before I let you go, what else is coming down the line? So the business is booming. The spring summer launch is happening, and as we said already, we're nearly sold out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know for sure yet where else you're going to go with this, but have you are there inklings? Is anybody else dropping in ideas subjectively as to what they might like you to do with them?
Well, yeah. Well, there is different things happening all the time. You know, as I was saying, you know, with another skincare brand as well, we might be doing something together. But you know, it's definitely more of the same. Building on my community hub where I am in Dundalk. You know, really building that hub. That's very, very important to me. So that has to stay central. It's like one of the values now at the
Yeah,
moment.
I love
The
that.
key thing. With my products, it's just reaching more people. I'm exporting more into Europe as well. So that's going well.
Yeah.
That takes a long time. I was in Paris with different meetings there last month. So all great conversations.
Yeah.
So we just have to see how that goes. Like I said, nothing just happens in a flash.
Yes.
So
It's the real
yeah.
estate. It takes time to build it, and e-commerce
Yeah.
is exactly where it's at for sure. But again, as people are watching and listening, and anybody that feels that they have anything they can contribute through a space like this is how they do it.
Yeah.
You know, get on board, let you know what they have to offer that they think would be valuable to you, and have the
Yes.
two-way conversation.
I'd love it. I would love it.
I know you would.
Yeah.
I know you would. Your heart is so open and your aura is crystal clear. It has been an absolute pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, Sheila, it's great to be here. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I wish you the very best for everything that's coming down the line.
Thanks a million.
And there you have it. You know, what strikes me most about Caroline's story isn't just the luxury in the silk that she uses, or even the elegance of her prints. I think it's more the permission that she gives women everywhere. Permission to take up space. Permission to wear colour. Permission, as we said, to be seen. Her spring-summer launch isn't about perfect models. It's about real women. Different shapes, different ages, different backstories, because style isn't about size. It's about self-expression. And Caroline understands that what we wear is never just fabric. It's emotion. It's identity. And it's definitely story. So what she's building in her design centre in Dundalk is something absolutely extraordinary. Hand-designed silk pieces that feel like wearable art. Prints that carry creativity, heritage and colour in equal measure. And yeah, you will find her work in beautiful places like Brown Thomas, but the heart of her work remains deeply personal, deeply Irish and deeply human. And I think what I admire most is how Caroline is using her talent to allow the dream to unfold around her. She's not waiting for permission. She didn't wait for that some elusive day. She started with what she loved: silk, print, colour, and Ireland, and she allowed possibility to grow from there. She followed her craft with courage and consistency, and in so doing, she made her dream visible. And so could you. Perhaps that's how you spell adventure. Adventure that isn't age-dependent, adventure that isn't limited by circumstance or best reserved for later. Adventure as possibility and motion. Adventure as confidence practiced daily. Adventure as a rebellion against self-doubt, and adventure as a reclamation of who you really are. And so, dear listeners, your task for this week is to identify one talent that you already have. Now, I didn't say skill, not a skill that you think you should monetize or that sounds impressive at dinner parties, but that thing that you love to do, the thing that makes you lose track of time, that talent that feels effortless, the thing you like to do that feels like coming home to you. A skill is something that you learn and you improve through practice. A talent is something that feels naturally aligned to who you are. So identify what that is in your life and just honour it. Take one small action towards it. Book the class. Make the call. Sketch the design. Throw words on a page. Format them later. Wear the colour. Send the proposal. Do you know what? Start before you feel ready. Because chasing dreams can feel abstract. But chasing your talents might just make your dreams feel tangible. When you lean into and hone your talents with intention, and when you show up consistently to what you're naturally drawn to, the dream doesn't have to be chased. It begins to unfold all around you, like it did for Caroline. So let your talent lead and allow the dream to grow organically in its wake. Your endeavour, your adventure, your reclamation. And so it is.